millions and millions of people. That is just crazy. Eddie, got to tell me a little bit about this show. How did this come about? How did it start with Steven Van Zandt? I know he's got that radio show, the Garage Band radio show.
It's Saint Steven Van Zandt.
Saint Steven. Tell me.
He's been a friend of ours. Practically everybody knows him. I was the last Rascal to meet him, actually, but everybody worked with him at different times. And he was always a fan, a friend, and now the roles reversed. I'm his fan, and he did a wonderful, wonderful job. He interviewed us, and he put the whole thing together, and it's a gift. It's a gift that we're even here. And when you see the show, you'll agree with us that it's a very high revisitation, but there's a lot of extra stuff with it. And Steven and Mark Brickman have been...
Mark Brickman too, yes. Mark is here, by the way. Hi, Mark. Where are you? There he is.
Marky!
Lovely guy, yeah. Writing, he's done writing for Pink Floyd. You've done a lot of stuff, sir. I could interview you for a few hours here. Dino?
No, it's a great collaboration between Mark and Steven and Rascals. It's really working beautifully.
That's just wonderful. And
a lot of fun, you know.
That's
you get to see the audience react to all of it, you know. There's a lot of things going on, multi-imagery on the screen and everything, and we can see everybody watching and reacting to what they're seeing. It's wonderful for us on stage.
And you play 30 songs, am I right?
Yeah, 30.
Who's counting?
Isn't that something? Who's going to the show, by the way? Just a show of hands here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. I'm going Saturday night, it's Friday night, and you're going to love the Cobb Energy Centre, by the way. It's a beautiful theater. It kind of is like, it reminds me of the Civic Center when it was new and nice, you know, in Atlanta. It's just, it's so lovely. I would like to have some of the press ask questions now. So if you want to raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question, and let me know who you're with, that would be very helpful.
Now, ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, you know, what would it be like? And in fact, our whole repertoire is about hope. And it took a long time to come through all this fertilizer to have this new garden. Right? And it's what we thought as children, really. What the first, you know, unedited version of what we thought of as children, and the art end of it is what's standing today. It's marinated for almost 50 years, and this is the end product. And I guarantee it's going to touch you one way or another. You're going to be. I'm inspired by it every time I turn around and go, "Did we really do that too?"
Oh, I bet.
I think you wanted more of a specific answer.
Yeah, let me
That's okay.
That song was written by Ted Kennedy.
Really?
Yes.
Tell us more.
We worked for Bobby Kennedy. He was assassinated. He was a ray of hope. He was the ray of hope. I had the opportunity to meet him and his family as a result of that song, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, but it never happened.
No.
But that's what that was really written for, the ray of hope.
Interesting. Dino, you wanted to add a little to that? Or no?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I thought you were going to add a little bit.
No.
Oh.
I just wanted him to explain.
Okay, what the song, okay, and Guy, or something?
Yeah, I've always read through the years, guys, that you had great artistic control at Atlantic Records.
Thank God.
Yeah, all the way down to I've even read and heard that, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning, if the Rascals wanted to come in and, you know, start cutting things.
Yeah, that was a great...
let's just say if Aretha was in there.
No. Aretha was in there. We didn't get in there.
Up till Aretha. But you were able to just...
Oh, yeah. When the studio was empty, if ever the studio was empty, we had our choice to go in there and rehearse as much as we wanted. And that was wonderful. We took really full advantage of all of that.
Dino, you're my favorite drummer of all time.
Well, thank you.
I heard that actually from several of our listeners too. Who else with the press? We'd like to, here we go. And what's your name? Mac from where?
Name 1690. Yeah. Gentlemen, first off, welcome to Atlanta. Whether it is your first time or not, welcome either way. I sort of want to piggyback on his question. Today, you would be a record label's worst nightmare. You play...
Thank you.
Everything is so specialized today, but you are playing whether it was soul music, rock music, dipping into jazz, whatever. How did Atlantic take to you at first when they figured out how diverse your catalog was?
You know, Atlantic was all about making good music. You know, and that's one of the finest things about Atlantic Records is that, you know, they were really into the music. As long as you made hits, they were happy. You stopped making hits, not happy, got a problem. So, you remember, in those days, the radio stations were extremely diverse. And that's all ended, unfortunately, now. You got demographics, you got people that are making music just for certain age groups. But in those days, they mixed and matched, and I tell you what, I really miss that.
They were great. They had great ears, those guys. Ahmed, Jerry Wexler, Arif, Tommy Dowd. That, you know, they were just magnificent. Each one of them were great at what they did. You know, and they heard songs, they heard music. They really did, and it was very, very, you know, a great label to be with.
Gene, how long had it been since you guys have performed until you did that, what Steve was talking about? When you did your reunion, how many years had it been since you performed together?
Well, other than the fact that about 2.5 years ago we appeared at a benefit where
That's right,
Steve
yeah.
Van Zandt and Maureen Van Zandt were honored as the Kristen N. Carr Foundation for Cancer. And, you know, we've been, hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars were thrown at us for years. And that wasn't really the right motive to do things. But when Stevie invited us to do the Tribeca thing, we all said yes, 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 you know. And myself being a cancer survivor, I was ready to go, and everybody was there too. And we have some of that sad disease within the family that we basically really cherish every moment that we're alive. And we did the benefit. We rehearsed for 3 days, and we had such a joy doing it.
Oh, wow.
That we said to Stevie, collectively and individually, if you got something interesting, get back to us. So 2.5 years later, he showed up with a script that had 30 drafts, and basically it's what we're doing now. Yeah. He never gave up. He never gave up. He never gave up, and he better not give up ever.
Labor of love for him and for you guys, for sure. What's your name?
I'm a freelance writer and photographer. If you had one piece of advice, each of you, to give to up-and-coming musicians today, what would it be?
Get a job.
Well, let's start. Let's go from left to right. Gene, you can start.
I always tell young people, don't be afraid to take a chance. You know, you got to be in it to win it. You know, you've got to buy a lotto ticket to win the lotto. You've got to take a chance. You may get screwed along the way when you're young, but that's what builds your character and your knowledge and the character that you have when you finally do make it. Never give up. Keep your eye on the prize and stay clean.
Very good. Felix?
I think you should learn to write, because the people who really are outstanding in this industry, you know, have something to say and they say it. And you know, there's many great singers, many great players, but there's not many great writers.
Right.
So if you learn to write, you've got an opportunity, I feel.
There you go. And I've always heard that about musicians. If you can write, you're gold. Golden. Dino, what do you
If
say?
you can publish, it'd be even better.
There you go.
Well, I would say just make sure that you want to do this more than anything else in the world. You know, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. You're going to have a lot of turn downs. You know, you got to really want to do it more than anything else in the world. And then you can just face whatever comes, you know.
Eddie?
Co-operate.
Yeah. Your team. The band's a team.
The world is a team.
Well, there you go.
When you take care of each other, everything works.
Bonnie, you got some great answers out of them, didn't you? Thank you guys. That was a good one. Who else? Who else we got?
I am a freelance writer also, and I just recently started my own music column here in Atlanta before I relocate to Las Vegas. Your generation of music, or rather your genre of music, has spanned several generations. And what do you think and why did it inspire so many and continues to inspire many?
Get a job.
It's a very good question.
It's a news report. It's basically we're reporting it's like a news report of where we're from and what we think. And we're expressing communications. I think the whole thing we're talking about here is a story. And we have a lot of stories. Next.
Well, I was going to say though too, your music is the kind of music that my mom, when I was in the late 60s when I was growing up, my mom and I would listen to the radio and there were certain things that she would turn it, just immediately. And the phrase was mutually agreeable. And if it were you guys, she loves you too. My brothers, I do, young people love it. Your music, when you're thinking about the British invasion happening at the same time, you really stood out as being so different.
Damn right.
You're an American man.
Americans
From New
rule.
Jersey, from Jersey.
Americans rule. Never forget this. Everything they took from here. Remember that. This, matter of fact, this state right here, right down the road there, you know who came from up there? Savannah, around that country there?
I do.
Yeah, I know we do. So, they know it too. But the point being this, if I just may say so, if you don't mind. Atlantic had a philosophy that we adopted and learned. And Atlantic was a jazz label. You make your record, they record that moment, and it goes out into posterity. Our moments that we recorded were total joyous events. Totally joyous events from the heart. It's a beautiful morning. I love that song. I had a friend of mine tell me I used to play that song on the way to, he was going to college at the time. If I heard that song, I didn't go to school. So,
Nice calling.
yeah, he's now a retired CEO, so he did all right. But the bottom line is that joy is transmitted to the universe forever. That's why we don't really re-record these things, because you can't do that again. I know you can make it sound like it, but you can't get that joy. See, and that's the thing. Atlantic, we owe them big time. That's their philosophy, and it's still like that. Because not to be expounding on it, but now with quantization and with DAWs and all that kind of stuff, where you make your records, everything's perfect. We were far from perfect.
And you were vinyl, which I know Sir Guy would be happy for me to, which we love. Anybody else?
Blues and Soul Magazine.
Hey, Chris.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks so much for having me this morning. Thank you. When I listened to the music yesterday, I went back to listen to an entire catalog of your stuff. I heard Motown and a lot of it. I heard Stax and a lot of it. Just the core of 60s soul music. So it's really flattering to also hear the story about how, you wanted black artists on the bill with you and you wouldn't play if the venues wouldn't do that. And even now to this day, coming forward listening to pop, I know Hall & Oates kind of follows your way. Robin Thicke, who is more current, he's a white soul artist. And you also have someone like Justin Timberlake kind of playing off of that too. So my question is, do you honestly see anything else in these artists that you kind of set the foundation for that you would point out?
Rhythm and blues, the voices, the flamingos, the dubs, the harp tones, all these groups. I personally come from a singer background, and that blend, those harmonies, those were prayers. They're the people blending and lifting, and it was the end of the station, the dial all the way at the end of the station. That was a special place, and that's a little different than rock and roll, so to speak. That's from my background, and I'm thinking the rhythm and blues factor is where that mesh comes in, that merge comes in, and that's another whole study. That's a whole other performance. Those singers are real singers, and you hear them, you listen to them, and that harmony creates that invisible, what is it called? It's an invisible harmonic that happens when you sing together, and that came from church as well.
Anybody else want to add to that a little bit?
The interesting thing is, like, when we speak, most of us here, we have East Coast accents.
What do you mean?
Hey, what are you talking about? So, when we would first started, we had to do covers of everybody's songs, because that's really what it was about. So really, it was just that accent was added to the song. We didn't realize it was R&B until somebody told us. You know what I'm saying? That's how we heard it. We used to do a lot of the Beatles songs, and they were funky because we were funky. So it's a natural thing. It was never planned. It's God-given, you know, and we're proud of it. We're proud of that heritage.
It's awesome.
Amen.
Can I say
Appreciate
something?
it.
Yeah.
I have to say, I learned about R&B from Felix, Eddie, and Dino. I came from upstate. I'm the white guy, as they say. But Felix had his own language when he sang. If you listen to Good Lovin', he doesn't say Good Lovin', he goes, Who love? And it worked, you know. And we bust his chops about it, but thank God he did it.
Oh, it's like you're saying, who love you? Yeah, see, there, I didn't even know. We have time for one more question. Is there one last question?
No.
You guys, what would you like to say about the show for those of us that are going? I'm going Saturday night. I'm so excited. I know you're going to be thrilled with the Cobb Energy Centre. But what can we expect? I'm a little curious about this story.
I think you're going to be very surprised. It's a combination of really a lot of things, and it just works really beautifully. You're going to see us have a lot of fun, and it's going to be infectious. You're not going to be able to escape us. You will join in the fun and be with us. It's just going to be a party. You know, we're really going to, you know, perform for you. I mean, it's great to be back in Atlanta. We haven't been here in years.
Okay, so you had been here before.
Oh,
But
yeah.
You performed here?
Yeah,
Where did you
sure.
perform? Do you remember?
A couple of places down here. You know, I did Chastain Park. We did, I think we did the old Fox, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Okay, so there you have it. We were
At
we were-
Atlanta.
Yeah.
The old fox.
The old is still there, which we love.
You know, when the curtain goes, well, when the curtain opens up, I won't give it away, the audience looks at us and says, my God, they're here. But the band collectively and individually say, wow, the people are here. So it's a love tennis match back and forth. It goes back and forth and back and forth. And when we went to Broadway, we had 15 sold out shows. Yeah. You know,
That's amazing.
And
That's amazing.
the Broadway community didn't quite get it because they thought, well, it's not a concert, it's not a play. But when you get the 7 to 8 ovations in a show, and it's just amazing, amazing. And so,
Well, and I love to see theater, and I've seen, you know, you see the ABBA one, and I've seen Jersey Boys. But the unique thing about this is you guys are all here.
Well, that's it. That's
oh
the
my
difference.
God, I
Yeah.
love it. You're playing 30 songs.
It's
You're
the
gonna be amazing. That.
Same smell.
you're never going to hear it before our performance. The part of Gene Cornish will be played
That's right. That's right. Well, I have been so honored to be able to ask the questions and have these folks be here with us today.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for
Let's hear it for Gene, Felix, Dino, and Eddie, y'all.
Thank you all.
Oh, thank you so much. We're going to take a little TV break here.